When dealing with assets in a probate estate administration, it's important to understand the interplay between group application documents or pleadings that deal with a number of assets at once, or the potential of a number of assets at once, and then asset-specific documents, documents related to one specific receipt in an estate. And EstateAssist is designed to automate both of those for you, but we have to understand how those work and where they're located to make it make sense. So we have a receipt screen up here, of course, with a number of assets that have been entered. And first, we want to understand what triggers asset-related pleadings, both for group and individual. And so if we just open up an example, we'll use a vehicle. There are a few things that are important when you're creating a new vehicle. Of course, with a vehicle, first it's important that you might designate it as going to a surviving spouse, either a motor vehicle or a boat, pursuant to statutory rights, and those are located in these checkboxes right here. But then every type of asset in EstateAssist has a section for intended disposition. So what is it that your estate or your fiduciary plans to do with this asset? And of course, the two options we have are to transfer in kind or to sell. And if we click the transfer in kind, then we have some options. We can transfer it to all beneficiaries or to all heirs or to specific individuals that we select below. So we could make this to Robert and then in whatever percentage. And if we had multiple beneficiaries, we could assign each of them their relative percentages. Alternatively, we can sell. And of course, there are a few questions related to sale. Is it going to be public, private, for what value, and how are we going to have payment terms? So that intended disposition is what triggers a lot of things to be automated. First, let's look at asset-specific pleadings. So once we mark what we plan to do with an asset, EstateAssist is going to produce pleadings right here on the receipt screen specific to that asset. And so since we mark that, I'll open these. We mark this Toyota Tacoma to be transferred in kind to Robert. We marked this Bassmaster boat to go to a surviving spouse by statutory right. So EstateAssist automatically creates a 9C here for the Tacoma. And we see its information is going to Robert. And it created an automatic affidavit for the boat that's going by surviving spouse right. Similarly, we have a piece of real estate here that was marked as transfer in kind to Robert as the proposed distribution, and we automatically get our 12s. Here's our 12.0, and of course our 12.1 is there. So those fill automatically, and again, we have them here on the receipt screen because we don't know how many vehicles or boats or pieces of real estate you might have. And so we want you to be able to have the necessary documents for each and every one. And that's why we don't have those on the pleading screen itself. But what we do have on the pleading screen are the 9s through 11s. And so if we go there, we're going to see things that are application oriented and can deal with several assets at once. So for example, if we click this 9.0 and we open that, we're going to see that we had marked the guitar collection to be sold. And of course, we marked how we want it sold, and the 9.0 automatically populates with that. And if we had had several assets marked, several pieces of personal property marked that way, they would all be listed here because those can be dealt with in group fashion. Similarly, 10.0 automatically fills. And so we had a separate guitar that we said we wanted to distribute in kind, and we could add several items that were marked as intended to be distributed in kind, and they would then show up on this document. So that's the distinction between group asset pleadings that we're going to see on the on the pleading screen, and then asset specific pleadings, which we're going to see on the receipt screen next to each asset.